Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all already know who this is. This is Ron the freaking Don. Now, today, I wanted to speak about the recent tragedy of a social media right wing influencer named Charlie Kirk. He passed away due to a gunshot wound last week while he was speaking at an event in Utah State University in the state of Utah. He was supposedly have been speaking about issues about gun violence and other community issues that hits home to the community. And during the process while he was speaking, he was gunned down by Tyler Robinson, who the FBI and law enforcement has captured and detained. And now, this Charlie Kirk's passing has garnered a lot of reactions from far left social media influencers who has celebrated his death. And now, since it's been a lot of celebrations of his death, it has sparked a reaction from right wing social media influencers as well as the mainstream media who condemned these actions, except for MSNBC. Because one commentator on MSNBC lost his job due to the fact of him speaking about Charlie Kirk in a negative light and politicizing his death. But yeah, that was just the beginning of it. Now, but the celebrations of his death from the far left social media influencers has garnered criticism from several media mainstream commentators, which is correct. Charlie Kirk's death should not be celebrated. But now those celebrations could potentially be the beginning of a race war that could further divide the country. So now, not only is it politicized, because every incident becomes political once the political commentators and pundits chime in on it. But it also create a racial divide. We could further the racial divide in this country. Why? Because over 90% of black folks support the Democratic Party, while several white folks are inclined to support the Republican Party. A decent amount of white folks support the Republican Party, which is almost like the majority of them do. But especially the white folks in the Midwest and the South and the Deep South that own farmland or whatnot. So those reactions could now cause further the racial divide because it's being condemned now. Like now, the majority of America is going to turn away from the Democrats. That's politically. Now, on a racial level, it could give white folks more clarity and a reason to criticize black folks. Give them this is definitely the perfect reason to, because we're on we're on social media celebrating his death. Well, rather you agree or disagree with Charlie Kirk or whatnot, because he does come off harsh sometimes or whatnot, but rather you agree or disagree with him, you should not. It is morally reprehensible to to celebrate a man's passing, because no one deserves to get murdered. No one deserves to be gunned down and leave their children and family fatherless. Nobody deserves that. So now that family has to go through, and his kids has to grow up without a father in the home. Issues that Charlie Kirk have spoken about, Charlie Kirk, who is known to speak about those issues at several college campuses and debate college students about those issues. And and to be honest with you, some of what Charlie Kirk says is correct. Some of the statistics are correct, and some of them are skewed. But however, the message behind what he says is somewhat, I would say, is somewhat plausible. Why? Because us black folks, we do need to take a little bit more accountability for like our culture or whatnot. But the way he says it, maybe the way he says it does sound harsh. However, I would say we do need. I would say us black folks need to take accountability for some of our actions or whatnot, and us relying on government for the answer for every answer is not the right way. And I do agree with Ronald Reagan back in the 80s when he said government is the problem, because it is the problem. And both political parties are the problem, because now the black community always consistently is politicized during election time, especially by the Democratic Party. The Republican Party just now started to pander to the black community. However, I myself would feel better about Charlie Kirk's messaging and the message and the concepts behind what he says. I do feel more comfortable if it came from a black man, from black folks, period. I would feel more comfortable with hearing his point of view from a black man. I would feel more comfortable with that myself. Because the only way we can improve the black community is for us to take accountability and for us to build our own community. So that way we don't have to worry about any other race and whatever it is that they do, if we build wealth ourselves. But yeah, but like I said, also like I said, those reactions from the far left social media influencers can cause people to turn away from the Democratic Party and have the Republican Party garner more support. Just by default. So yeah, so like I said, in no way, shape, or form we should celebrate someone else's death, rather you agree with them or not. I feel everybody has something to offer in this world, and he is highly praised by the right wing. They idolize him or whatever, and I felt they have every right to. And Charlie Kirk did. I'm not gonna criticize Charlie Kirk for looking out for his own people. I ain't mad at him for that. But us black people, we should start more looking out for ourselves instead of expecting the government to look out for us. But yeah, so this like I said, this definitely, the reactions like that are morally reprehensible and can cause further division and more polarization in this country. And any more in this country, we don't need any more polarization because we already polarized as it is due to everyone's hatred for Trump. At least everyone on the far left's hatred for Trump. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on the issue. And you like this video, hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I will catch y'all in my next video. Peace.